Thank you, Dr. Moniz, for your testimony today. I'm going to ask about 3 issues: electric vehicles, solar energy, especially domestic manufacturing, and wave energy. And because my time is short, I'm going to ask the 3 questions and then give you time to respond. I was pleased to see significant increases in the energy efficiency and renewable energy budget proposal, particularly in the area of vehicle technologies. Oregon is a national leader in this area. We have a high number of electric vehicles. In fact, your department recently found that in Oregon, the cost to operate an electric vehicle is the equivalent of running on gasoline that costs 96 cents a gallon. I think many of my colleagues would appreciate that in their districts. So can you describe the department's plans to replicate this type of success in other communities that don't yet have the same deployment levels as my state of Oregon? And then secondly, on solar energy, you highlight solar energy as a priority. I'm glad to see this reflected in a proposed budget increase. In my district in Oregon, we have Solar World employing about 800 people, providing the installation industry with a high-quality product while also supporting domestic manufacturing. But Solar World's ability to compete domestically is being threatened. Last year, the International Trade Commission unanimously found that U.S. solar manufacturers have been injured by unfair trade practices. So will you please discuss the impact of such trade practices, especially on domestic solar manufacturing, and can the Department of Energy do more to support domestic manufacturing? Finally, Oregon has made a strategic decision to work with the Federal Government to become an international leader in wave energy. Many countries, especially in Europe, have already deployed viable operating electricity-generating projects using the emission-free power of ocean waves and currents and tidal forces. In fact, the UK has spent more than $780 million on wave energy R&D over the past decade. I believe it's critical that the United States send a clear signal to the rest of the world that we're a strong competitor in and serious market for this emerging sector. There's a need for some investment related to development of an offshore testing center, which I, of course, hope will be in Oregon, and wonder, does the Department plan to pursue an increase for water and wave power in the FY15 budget request to Congress? Thank you very much, and please respond in the remaining time.
Thank you. So first on the electric vehicles, let me actually first note that in the 2011 Department of Energy Quadrennial Technology Review, the lead recommendation was to shift emphasis, relatively speaking, more towards advanced vehicle technologies, and that's reflected now in the FY14 budget. That Quadrennial Technology Review is the first step towards the Quadrennial Energy Review that I mentioned earlier, which I hope will have similar consequences on a broader playing field. In terms of the deployment of electric vehicles, clearly today the number of vehicles deployed is modest, but the rate of deployment is actually faster than it was for hybrids at this stage of their deployment, and partly it's because they are really high-performance vehicles. A little bit expensive at the moment, but high, very, very high performance. The e-gallon you referred to in terms of the operating costs of such a vehicle, in your state it was below $1. The national average is $1.14, and we have a tool now where somebody can find the price of operating a vehicle the same way they can at the local gas station and seeing the price up there. So the goal here is A, get the capital cost down for the batteries, B, in programs like our Clean Cities and our strengthened emphasis on states and localities that I'm bringing in, and I can't say right now, but I think we will have an excellent person will be coming in to head this. She's been very prominent in state energy issues, that we will be looking to help localities in terms of the infrastructure development. Secondly, on solar, clearly, I mean, many policy instruments are not in the realm of the Department of Energy, but what I would say is, of course, again, we come back to the cost reduction, not only in the, let's say, a module per se, but in the manufacturing processes, very, very important. The President's manufacturing initiative I think is going to be very important here, advanced materials. The new one that's up for bid right now involves power electronics. That's part of a system for solar. And again, working with the states, we've got to find a way to get the soft costs down,
Right.
which right now are driving things very, very heavily. On, what was the third? Wave energy, wave and tidal energy. That's a program that I have to say I have not yet gotten to review. I know it's a small program right now. I have received strong encouragement to look at what have been called the forgotten renewables beyond wind and solar, and that would be waves, micro hydro, geothermal. So we will be looking at that in the FY15 budget preparation. Clearly, I can't make a commitment on any specific number now.
Terrific. Thank you very much. My time has expired. We look forward to working with you, and I'll yield back.